What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of In-Laws and Out of Bounds. I am your host, Hagen. Sitting across from me is Emilio, and we're excited to be here. Today, we are going to get into it. We got sports news that we're going to talk about. We've got Texas high school football realignment, and then we got our Super Bowl preview and predictions. We're really excited. This is going to be a fun-packed episode. We thank all of you for being here, no matter if you listen for a minute or the full thing. We greatly appreciate you. Don't forget to go check out our social media. We're on all of it: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all that good stuff. Please go give us a like, subscribe, follow, rating, all that good stuff. We greatly appreciate all of y'all's support and everything. But yeah, this is going to be a great episode. We appreciate you being here. Episode 32. Let's get into it.
Powered by Riverside.
All right, guys, before we get into it, we want to thank our official sponsors, Brewster Bird Hunts. Make sure that you go check them out on Facebook and Instagram. They are your number one source for dove hunting and upland birds in all of Texas. They've got the best guides, the best birds. If you want to limit out every time that you go out, make sure that you check them out. BrewsterBirdHunts.com. Give Landon a shout. They've got it all, man. If you're one hunter, 100 hunters, it doesn't matter. They're going to take care of you. They're top notch. They were just in Kansas here recently, getting their dogs trained up on some inland birds and stuff like that. So they really take pride in what they do. So if you or your friends, group, anything like that want to get something together, go check them out. Tell them that we sent you here at the podcast. So, yeah, sporting news. Emilio, what's going on, man? You want to say hi to the folks before we jump into it?
Howdy, folks. If you hear any background noise, it's just my kind neighbor sawing away at 8:45 at night like a good neighbor does. So I apologize for that, but I am excited. Super Bowl is upon us. It's the end, but the beginning of something new. So I'm ready to rock and roll.
Yep, gayest Super Bowl ever, they say. But here we are. And don't hate on your neighbor, man. You know, the grind never stops. So it's what it is. But sporting news, man. Sport news roundup. There's a lot going on. There's a lot people don't care about. But you know what? We're here. We're a sports podcast. We are football first, but we're a sports podcast nonetheless. And we're going to give you all of the headline stuff that you may not see. So just some quick hits off the here. MLB, we've had a lot of free agency that's still going on. Teams trying to add to their final rosters as we gear up, getting into spring training. We've got the World Classic Baseball that is going to be going on as well, coming up in March. But here recently, there's been one interesting one that caught my eye. Carlos Santana signed a 1-year, $2 million deal with the D-backs. He's coming off a season where he batted .219. He had 11 home runs, 54 RBIs, and a .633 OPS on 415 at-bats for 2025. That was also 91 hits that came there. So he played for the Guardians and the Cubs, I believe it was, last year. So a decent pickup for the D-backs, should I say D-bags, out there in Arizona. And they got that like I mentioned, baseball classic starting in March, mid-March. That's going to be fun. Those teams are rounding out their rosters with all of the countries that are going to be playing in it. It'll be a lot of fun to see. Make sure you check that out. We've got the Winter Olympics that are going to be starting the 6th, which is Friday, right? I think it is.
Yes, sir.
So that'd be cool to see. It's going to be all over NBC, Peacock, all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure y'all will get your full fill of the Olympics as you go there. Make sure the biggest deal, cheer on USA Hockey. That's,
Man, have your eye out on the Hungarian bobsled team. They are absolute heaters. They could go on a run this year.
Israel has a bobsled team this year too. They're practicing on that sand out there, I guess.
Who are they funded by?
Ben Shapiro. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea. Golfing news. Live Golf, they're going to get some world ranking points for the first time for their top 10 finishers. Basically, how this works before Live Golf, the official world ranking, official world ranking or golf ranking, excuse me, is now awarding rankings to the top 10 finishers in Live Golf League events. This is the first time they happened. Before they said that they didn't meet the requirements, and they actually still don't meet these requirements, but they want to start getting these people back in. I know there was a merger at some point that was said it was going to be a big deal, and then it kind of fizzled out. Maybe this is some remnants of that kind of coming in. But if you continue to look at this, even with these golfers getting points, it's really half of what these PGA guys are getting. So if you could say last week or the week that Scotty Scheffler won, he got 69 points for winning. The winner for this next Live tournament is only going to get 23. So it kind of varies depending on the tournament, the significance of it, who's playing in it, all that kind of stuff, and then where you place as well. But really, you can kind of take a 2-for-1 in that instance of what it's going to be for a Live golfer versus a PGA golfer. But it's still something big to see. If you get somebody that's really playing well in Live, they could climb up the ranking, the leaderboard, the rankings that they've been falling off of here over the past couple years. So interesting to see there. College football playoffs came out, and they are not going to have a New Year's Eve game at the end of 2026 to avoid the NFL. What do you that's the NFL's got some games on New Year's Eve this year. So instead, the CFP quarterfinals will be held Wednesday, December 30th at the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. And then there's going to be a triple header on Friday, January the 1st with the Cotton Bowl, Chick-fil-A Bowl, and the Rolls Bowl. So they're going to – I don't remember – I mean, they've been doing the college football has had 2 New Year's Eve games since they've had the 12. And then they've always had a New Year's Eve. The biggest games have typically been on New Year's Eve as long as I could remember, right? Besides the national championship games and stuff, right? Obviously, but your big bowl games. So NFL's king, we've known that. But I would have thought at some point that the college football would have pushed back and say, hey, let's try our rankings here. I mean, just because they're 2 separate leagues, I guess, the NFL does dominate and they control – they control that ESPN Disney crowd a lot easier. But I don't know. It's just interesting. What are your thoughts?
I'm not surprised by this. The NFL, I mean, way too much money, way too big of a brand. I mean, they run everything. If you look at TV ratings, linear TV has been thriving off of the NFL, and that's pretty much the only thing carrying them at this point. So I'm not surprised by that. It's just bad luck for college football.
Yeah,
really, as far as the date falling on New Year's Eve.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of pissed off people too. And then you having the quarterfinals played on Wednesday. That's just
that's kind of a disadvantage. But yeah. I mean,
it is December 30th. There are people that are going to get off New Year's Eve day, right? You're going to have those people that are going to get off, but there's going to be some people that aren't. So that is kind of weird to see. So it is around that holidays. I know that maybe it won't matter at the end of the day, right? So especially unless they decide to put, I don't know, I guess it's the quarterfinals, so you won't see a James Madison or Tulane at that point. So
no,
you won't have a blowout game there, or theoretically you think you wouldn't have a blowout game. So staying with the college football team, man, I was looking at the LSU or just the transfer portal in general. LSU kicked rear on that transfer portal. I don't know if you saw that, but they rank this and they give them points based off the 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, all that kind of stuff that they get. LSU had a grade of 84.21 basically on that grading schedule on the points. The next the closest was Ole Miss, and they were 61. And then it fell off to 58 and then to 50 and then so on and so forth. LSU had 3 5-star recruits come over, 11 4-star, and 26 3-star. So watch out for them Tigers. That 40 commits.
Lane Kiffin and money is all they needed.
That's all they needed was Lane Kiffin and some money. So interesting to see there. They've got a lot going on. There's college basketball side when they talk about recruits and these guys that are transferring and coming in and out. You had John Calipari here recently that got really upset because college basketball now is letting overseas players come back and G League players come back in. And there was a kid or a grown man that played here recently in a college basketball game after declaring for the draft and then coming back in. They've got a lot to figure out with all this stuff going on here.
Yeah, that gets kind of messy it's messy already in football, but in basketball, because you have these overseas teams and they play from the time they're 14 years old and they're professionals up until 18, and by then they're seasoned veterans and they come over and either declare for the draft and you don't get drafted, then fine, I'll just go to college.
Yeah. Yeah, Calipari needed to watch himself. He started talking about how do we know when they can produce like legitimate birth certificates and how do we know that they're actually, they give you a piece of paper and it says I am 12 on it with a, $20 bill in it.
It's a $5 bill.
$5 bill and you take it. He needs to watch out. The woke crew is going to get him, man. We don't talk about birth certificates and IDs and stuff like that. It's all good. You do whatever you want around here. So watch out. He's going to get canceled. But he's got a good point. He brought up, hey, let a kid transfer once and then that's it, right? Commit somewhere, transfer once, unless in a different season your coach leaves or gets fired, right? And then at that choice, at that point, okay, hey, you came to this program specifically for this coach. Now you have the opportunity to either follow that coach or find somewhere else to play. But really, if you're in this program and you have somewhere you're going to be locked in there, you only get one chance to leave so that you don't have this issue of hopping around. And then set a age limit on college basketball too. It's so unfair to have, even in football, to have guys that are, 25, 26. I mean, playing against 18-year-olds, it's not very fair. So they need to figure that stuff out really quick. Yep. Other big news. Last one I've got here. Robert Kraft. There's big things going on that he's not going to get in the Hall of Fame this year either. So, boo-hoo. Kind of saw that Bill not getting in.
That's not as angering as Bill Belichick by any stretch of the imagination.
It's not.
I mean, honestly, the amount of scandals that guy's been that aren't football related, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Even though they say that has nothing to do with whether or not you qualify for the Hall of Fame.
No.
Personal conduct is not factored in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everybody's throwing a temper tantrum because they're comparing Robert Kraft to Jerry Jones now. And why does Jerry get in when Robert Kraft doesn't get in? And Jerry wasn't a first ballot guy, I don't think. Jerry Jones is in for multiple reasons, with what he's done with the NFL. Kraft is going to get into the Hall of Fame at some point, for sure. I imagine. But just first ballot, I mean, there's a difference in what Jerry's done. Jerry's contributed more than just as an owner. He is the reason why teams can advertise on their own, and that the league, he's not the sole reason, but he's a huge reason that the league has become. He turned all these millionaire owners into billionaire owners. He helped really push that along to make that happen. So there's a lot of contribution outside of just the Cowboys itself that he's done. So
right,
yeah. But anyways, got any news?
James Harden headed to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Darius Garland headed to the Los Angeles Clippers. They swapped point guards there, and the Cavs also gave up a second-round pick along with Darius Garland. So a little change of scenery there for James Harden for like the 8th time. I guess a seasoned veteran at this point, and maybe just brings an extra. Darius Garland to me is a better point guard, but I mean, I'm not the scout and I'm not the GM, so best of luck to those two guys. And then Jaren Jackson Jr. is headed to the Utah Jazz. The Grizzlies are kind of in a weird spot. Your star player that doesn't really want to be there. They had the ordeal with their head coach getting fired last year. So I think they're at a point where the Jazz were a couple of years ago, where they just decided to blow it all up and reset and see what you can get. So it'll be interesting to see what the Jazz do with Jaren Jackson. They've kind of been in a full rebuild mode the past couple of years. They have a lot of future picks still on the books. So that's an interesting little roster that they got going on there. And then Trade deadline is on Thursday at noon, so there's still some opportunity. Giannis still hasn't been moved yet. Jimmy Butler's still put. There's lots of rumors flying around, so it'll be interesting to see how all that plays out.
Yeah, I heard they told Jimmy that he didn't have to worry about getting traded. He wasn't getting traded. So I don't know how true that is because there was some talk about the Giannis going to the Warriors. I saw a
Right.
report today about Giannis, the Mavericks reaching out, wanting to trade Anthony Davis for Giannis and then a bunch of picks. They apparently put a big bundle together. But I guess the Bucks have received all of the trades and they have rebutted a bunch of them or, counter offer, I guess.
The latest one I saw was the Minnesota Timberwolves being very eager to try to make a package to get Giannis over there, which would be a very interesting fit. But we'll see how that plays out. I don't know what the T Wolves would have to give up. I imagine quite a bit. They were trying to bring in 3 or 4 other teams to make it happen.
Yeah.
And when you get to these multi-team trades, I mean that's one cool thing about the NFL or about the NBA that the NFL doesn't do. You get these multi-team trades where you have a variety of players going to totally different places. So it'll be interesting. This trade deadline in the NBA is always wild. There's always big splashes that you don't typically see happen in the middle of a season like with other sports. So that's unique in that way.
Giannis would fit in with the fraudulent residents of Minnesota pretty well, wouldn't he? Wait, he's not even from there, right? He's from Greece or wherever.
It's from Greece.
Oh, okay, never mind. He sure seems to support it. Anyway, whatever. Whatever. I mean, I hope somebody catches that and clips it. Maybe it'll go viral. Be a good thing. That's all the news we've got that I can think of. That's everything that I have. Not a lot of huge things going on. There's a bunch of NFL coaching hires that we didn't get to. I don't know them all off the top of my head to begin with. So I do know most of the positions are filled. You had some offensive coordinators that have kind of moved around, defensive coordinators. There's all these guys are getting in. They're completing their staff as far as all their position coaches, everything like that. So there'll be a lot to dive into there. And yeah, that's it. I mean, you've got college basketball that's ramping up, getting ready for the March Madness. So make sure that you're somewhat semi paying attention to that, unless you just want to go into March Madness with a blind bracket. We'll have a bracket. We did have winners of our college football bracket. I forgot about that. I don't have them in front of me right now either, so I feel bad. But do know that we do know who won. We know our top 3, and you will be getting your merchandise as soon as my my maker of the merchandise makes the merchandise. I promise you will get it. So Emilio doesn't even have it yet, so it is coming. I promise. I promise it's coming. Take my word. Clip it. But yeah, let's get into some Texas high school football. We had a realignment that happened Tuesday and it came out about 9 o'clock. So this is a big deal. Realignment, basically what it does is it goes through and they split teams into 6 different divisions, or I guess, size ratings as far as 6A down to 1A. And then within 1A or 5A through 1A, you get 2 divisions. You get Division 1 for the bigger schools, Division 2 for the smaller schools. And that's set, and you're set for the next 2 seasons. And basically they try to go in there and they look at the numbers of enrollment for those schools, and then they try to look to place you in that, say, 5A Division 1, and then they'll look at geographically where you are for your actual district within your region to try to make you play similar towns, schools that are close to you in proximity. And what realignment really does, it creates the roadmap to the state championship. You really get to look at it and say, okay, here's who I play in district. I have to win district to get in the playoffs, or I have to be one of it's 4 now, right? Teams to win.
I think unless they changed it.
Won that 1 through 4th to get into the playoffs to have a chance, and then you pretty much know who you're going to be playing. You know which teams in those close regions that you will be playing to get out of that side of the bracket and to move further and so on and so forth. So big there. They're gonna do that. So the biggest news: you had 20 schools from 5A moved to 6A. You also had 20 schools drop from 6A to 5A. In that 5A to 6A, Alito was one of the big ones that made that jump. That's on the west side of Fort Worth there. That's just a huge metropolitan area that's growing up. Alito's won 12 state championships since 1998. So very winning program. It'll be interesting to see what that team can do jumping up a division. And then you had 20 schools drop down from 6A to 5A. DeSoto's one of those. They've won multiple national championships over the past couple years. That division is being branded as the Division of Doom for that 5A Division 1 scale. So that'll be really interesting to see. Basically, on a division, on a 5A Division 1, you're going to have an enrollment of 1,870 kids to 2,214 kids, just to give you an idea. And there's 128 schools that fit that parameter right there. So we're only going to talk about the ones that matter to, I say matter to us. I think that's something, I mean, it's more of really the people around that listen to us, I guess, right?
Right.
So just to give some examples here, some of the biggest ones, I think if you look at the biggest like losers of this, I've talked to some people over that have kids that go to school at Medina Valley. Medina Valley is one that is going to get hurt in this aspect of they are creating a new school over in the Rio Medina area for Castroville, and they basically split their football team up from last year. They went pretty deep in the playoffs, and now they're going to kind of have to start from scratch. They're getting put into they're in 5A Division 1, which they're calling the Division of Doom again. So Medina Valley, you're going to see them play in their district: Eagle Pass Win, Laredo Martin, Laredo Nixon, Northside J, San Antonio MacArthur, San Antonio Southside, and then South San. So Northside J was a big one. They were what were they here? 9-2 last year. They made a little decent run here towards the end in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So also along in that region, you have teams like CC Flower Buff, Veterans Memorial. You've got Corpus Christi Carroll. You've got a lot of this. You've got Bernie Champion, Smithson Valley, which is a back-to-back state champion in that Division 1. Maynard, Seguin. So they got their in that region, in our region 4 that you would call this area. So interesting there. 4A Division 1, they made this enrollment 896 kids to 1,304. Where this really affects us here, you have Kerrville-Tybee that dropped down from 5A to 4A in our area. But really, if you look at this, Uvalde here, they got kind of what seems to be a little bit easier of a district if you look at it. In District 14, you're going to have Floresville, Lavernia, Medina Valley Creek View, which is that new Castroville school, Pleasanton, San Antonio Kennedy, Somerset, and Uvalde. Last year, Lavernia was really good. Somerset was really good, I believe. So those are going to be tough opponents.
Mm-hmm.
But there were a few teams in here, Kennedy, that they whipped up on. I think they played Pleasanton kind of close. Who knows what that Castroville school is going to get? Depends on what talent they got to come around. But it is always hard for a first-year program to get going. And then Floresville wasn't super great last year. So there's a path there, at least for Uvalde, to potentially get to the playoffs. I don't know what that – I don't know what Uvalde looks like as far as who they have coming back and everything. But we've been a little short on the short side of the stick here over the past couple of years, unfortunately. But hopefully Uvalde can get things moving. Kerrville-Tybee, they didn't do them too many favors. They got moved into a district with a bunch of Austin schools. They also have Taylor and Fredericksburg in that school. And then they have 2 Colemal. They have Canyon Lake, which is that big one over there by Bucky's off 35. It's got everything. And then they've got Colemal Davenport, which they played last year, and they lost to them 66-13 in a non-district game. So they got to play them in district now. So tough for Tybee to compete with a lot of those schools. You've got Austin Travis, Austin Northeast, and Austin Johnson as well. So they can beat Fredericksburg. I don't know about the rest. So
yeah,
once prideful school knocked down. If we keep going down here, 4A Division 2, Bandera moved up, and they're in a weird one. They got Pierce all in their district, San Antonio Memorial, Geronimo Navarro, Gonzalez, and Cuero. That's kind of wild, just weird. I didn't think Bandera grew that much because um, they've always been with Hondo and a couple of those other schools that I guess Bandera's just getting up there. So you're going to see Hondo and all them Division 3A or Conference 3A, Division 1. If you look at this one, you're going to have District 14. You've got Carrizo, Crystal, Divine, Hondo, Jordanton, Lytle, Natalia, Poteet, all teams that are very close together and stay in that. You have Carrizo and Crystal that had really good years last year. So did Hondo. So it'd be good to see those teams go there. 3A was 246 kids to 549. Division 1 was 367 to 549. And then getting down to the small schools, man, you got I think I'm passing – who am I passing here? I am passing 2A, Conference 2A, Division 1. There's nobody – Dilly got moved down to 2A. But if you look at Conference 2A, Division 2, District 14, you got Bracketville, Centerpoint, Harper, Junction, LaPrire, Sabinal, and D'Hanis. So very typical what you'd see there. District 15, you got Charlotte, Fall City, Louise, Pettis, Three Rivers, Yorktown. Those are kind of close teams that you play. But and then our last one here, we've got Conference 1A, Division 1, six-man football here. District 16, Emilio. Nueces Canyon, Bruni,
Trash.
Bruni, Canepa, Medina, Prairie Lee, and Lakey. Man, big schools there. Big time rivalries with all these small town Camp Wood, Canepa, Lakey, Medina.
I think Medina was pretty good last year.
Yeah, I think so too. Hey, watch out for Canepa. They've been building something over there. They came on. They had a tough playoff matchup, but they've been building something over there. And you never know. They may get how some of these other school districts have been performing around our area. You never know. Them old boys may get some transfers over there.
Hey, whatever it takes. If I got a feeling that these Medina Valley and that Creekside, whatever the hell you said.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if you got a couple of Buddy Garrity's running around Castroville moving mailboxes to keep certain players in certain school districts.
Look, I'm not going to say anything that I shouldn't to get me in trouble, but you're probably not wrong. So, because other school districts are doing it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if these daycares in Minnesota can get away with having
you got to get off the Minnesota.
having no kids saying they've got 100 and getting $2 million a year, why can't you get away with a mailbox and a vacant parking lot or a vacant lot?
Shit, these boys are having the time of their lives.
I don't know. I think folks take high school football around here a little more serious than they take actual their state serious up in Minnesota. So we'll yeah.
High school football is more important than healthcare fraud. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, screw them kids. That's what they said. I'm the captain now. Anyways, yeah, that was a good time to kill some of that. If we didn't have your team in there, your area, I'm sorry. There's a lot to get into, and to be honest with you, I didn't. We'll do a high school preview when it gets closer. Hopefully, one thing that we did talk about was with some of our area coaches here, give them the chance to talk about their program and talk about their season, and just do an interview of how they see their season going, and kind of giving the folks in the just in the area just a little more knowledge about who they are and what they're trying to accomplish. Obviously win football games, but just as far as a program and everything. So that'll be fun, but that's 7 months away. So
a long ways from home.
I guess it's not 7 because it's already February, but anyways. So with that being said, we've gotten through everything. We're going to get to the main course here, Super Bowl preview. We've got Big Super Bowl 60. They're calling it the gayest Super Bowl that we could have. It is Sunday, February the 8th, 5:30 p.m. on 5:30 p.m. On NBC. You have the NFC champion Seattle Seahawks are going to San Francisco, where they will play the AFC champion New England Patriots, both 14-3 to end the regular season. You have Seattle that is favored by 4.5 points. You've got an over-under of 45.5 here, and two teams that have interesting paths here, I think, just as far as the way that they got one, to the Super Bowl, One did it by defense, and the other one did it really by offense. So Titans headed for a crash course here, basically. The biggest storyline here is that the Seahawks are going to be on the market after this. I did a little bit of looking here. Basically, what happened is that when Mr. Allen had passed away in 2018, I think it was given to his sister. She had within the will, essentially, she had to sell the team, but they had to wait until there was a time period, essentially, that if they sold before, then they had to give, I think it was the city of Seattle or something, 10% of whatever the selling price was. So they're estimating this sale to be around $7.5 billion. It had been $750 million they'd had to give them back. So they waited for that clause to phase out to where they get their full 100%. But it's going to be the first time that a team has gone for sale after potentially winning a Super Bowl, which if they win that Super Bowl, which I'm sure they really hope they do, so one, they could be Super Bowl champs, and then two, they could really hit that extra, put an extra
billion on that.
Exactly. Just don't hold back. But yeah. So I think that's definitely one of the bigger news is here. It's just far as that, and then other than it being the Super Bowl, right?
Right.
Yeah. So get into it. Keys of the game. Easy for me. I just want to talk. We'll talk about keys of the game first. For Seattle, to me, keys of the game. They got to score early, and then they got to make May prove that he's worthy to be a Super Bowl champion. And what I mean by that is make Drake May beat you. He has not performed to his best this postseason. He had he was in the running for MVP in the regular season, and that has definitely slacked off as we've gotten into the playoffs. Yes, I know that he played in the snow, and it was really hard for anybody to get around, but you really have to make Drake May prove that he is going to be the guy to beat you. So score early, get on the board, put that pressure on the Patriots to where, hey, they can't fall back on running the football, turning around, doing play action. No, make Drake May stay back there in the shotgun in the pocket, throw the ball down the field. For New England, easy. Control the clock, make Darnold uncomfortable. Easier said than done. Darnold struggled early in the season with making the right decisions on blitzes. He definitely progressed in the right direction all the way up to last week 2 weeks ago against the Rams, and he seems more comfortable being more precise, getting the ball out quicker. Versus the blitz against the Rams, he went 5 for 11, 102 yards and 3 touchdown passes. So, it's easy to sit here and say, hey, make them uncomfortable, but that's what you're going to have to do, because if you really give those guys on the Seattle side time to get work down the field, they've got some speedsters with Jackson Smith and Jigba, Rashid. They've got capable running backs. They're really fast and big play. If you give him time to let those long developing plays go, and they can get yardage in chunks, it's going to be really hard for you to turn around to, if May is having a bad game, to turn around and say, hey, you got to go tit for tat on this. Those are my two things. So Seattle, score early, make May beat you. New England, control the clock, make Darnold uncomfortable to where you can make this more of a grind out game if Drake May does potentially struggle. So
yeah, I think your keys to the game are the same exact thing that I had. It's when you get to this point in the season, it's the last game of the season. You're not going to change your identity. These teams are very apparent about who they are and what they like to do and what they need to do in order to win games. And I think the biggest factor on that is is how well the Patriots offensive line can protect Drake
Mm-hmm.
May, because that Seattle defensive line is very good. DeMarcus Lawrence is an animal. They have proven that they can get to the quarterback, and I mean, they have the number one scoring defense in the NFL, so that you get that for a reason. Um, and really, if Drake May can protect and take care of the football, you mentioned it. I feel like he's gonna have to go out of his way to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. I don't think it's just gonna. Even if they're able to run the ball, I don't think you can rely just on that. You're casual. Let's run the ball and then do some play action. I think there's going to be points in the game where he's going to have to take advantage of situations and go win the football game. So, you know, we are going to have to see something from Drake May that we haven't seen in a few weeks. There was points in the season where we saw it. There was the game against the Bills where he went and won them the game. And he's had a couple moments where he will go out and win games, but not consistently. And this is everything on the line, so you're going to have to see it from him. And
Yep.
then defensively, it's kind of the same thing. This Patriots defense has been able to throw different stuff at a lot of different quarterbacks in this postseason, and they've been successful. I mean, they weren't the best of quarterbacks. They gave C.J. Stroud absolute hell. They gave Justin Herbert absolute hell, and then Jarrett Stidham. So they haven't seen what Sam Darnold's been putting out on the field. And that's not what they've come across as of late. I think the best quarterback would be Justin Herbert as far as being able to identify what they're trying to do. And they came out of that game saying they didn't know what the hell they were throwing at him. So if they're able to continue that, I think it could be a long afternoon, because that Patriots do a great job of stopping the run. But Kenneth Walker is an animal. Sam Darnold, if he's going to continue to play the way he's been playing, it's going to be a tough task for the Patriots to do. It's not going to be just a simple walk in the park. So there is there is a very distinct path. I think when you get down to coaching, both of these coaches are very good. They both understand what needs to be accomplished. I'm not going to give a tip of the hat towards either of these teams on special teams. They're both very well coached. Their special teams are both very involved with the game plan. So, I mean, when you look at it and you look at everything that's there, none of what I'm going to base my pick on is going to be any of that. It's going to be just an absolute gut feeling on what my heart tells me.
Yep.
And my heart tells me that Sam Darnold's been playing too good for too long, and Drake May's been playing too average for too long.
Yeah.
And I think they're both due for something different. I think Sam Darnold's going to shit the bed, and I'm going to stand on that. I think we're going to get a one of those games where you're wondering why Sam Darnold is even talked about as a quality quarterback. And then for Drake May, I think he's going to finally decide that he is an MVP and he's going to win the game for the Patriots. So I'm going to go with the Patriots in this one. Despite what everybody says, the Vegas odds are also swaying me in that direction, because I don't think in this economy Vegas is prepared to pay everybody that picks the Seahawks. So I could see, some behind the scenes deals being made and the Patriots come out with a win in this game.
That is a very conspiracy theorist pick right there. I like it, though. I like it. Does Vegas control the league? It is very potential there. One thing that I was thinking about while I was just thinking about this game in general and having Drake May do it, just some things here with the Seahawks defense. So during the regular season, they allowed a league low 3.7 yards per carry. They really have a heavy dime package that they like to do, really a dime nickel package here, basically. The two deep safety look to where that they can prevent those big plays. And what that tells me here too, they're on a 26 game streak without allowing a 100-yard rusher, right? So they and they've played against the 49ers and the Rams here recently. So they're playing two deep safeties in that dime nickel package. they're not really loading the box up so much, and they're being able to get that done 4 or 5 guys, right? So they do have a lot of guys up there that are able to clog those holes, make it uncomfortable. Is May going to be able to sit back in that pocket and make it happen? Now he's thrown for 4,300 yards this year. He had 31 touchdown passes, 8 interceptions only. He's been able to do it with his legs. I know in the playoffs, here now he hasn't had the best record in the playoffs, obviously, but he's thrown for 533 yards, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He lost 3 fumbles, but he's also run for 144 yards on the ground. Seattle has some pretty athletic defensive ends too that can be able to run you down, get out there. Man, the Seahawks defense, they just I don't know. I really hate to pick Seattle. I really do. But the more I just looked at these stats as we, kept going and you dive deeper into each team. The Patriots defense is legit. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not down, just sitting here, bagging on the Patriots. They have a legit defense. And if they can get in there and they can disguise blitzes and they can make it difficult for Sam Darnold to read like he was doing earlier, like teams were doing earlier in the year, and they can get after him and they can bring those corner blitzes or blitz up the middle to where he is having to get it out quickly. And they really have sure tackling corners for the Patriots, and they can keep them, in those 3rd and long situations, right? You want to do that to any teams. I'm not saying anything, that's crazy here, or anything groundbreaking, but they're going to have to really hunker down on that defensive side of the ball to give Drake May at least the time to get comfortable in the game if they really want to have an opportunity, right? I mean, I think that it is going to take that time for him to get comfortable, get a quarter under his belt. But if, Seattle can come out and they can strike hot and, say get a, 14-0 lead, I mean, that's somewhere that I don't see the Patriots are going to have the time to come back. You're gonna have big things there. X factors on the Patriots side: Hunter Henry and Matt Collins. They're gonna bracket somewhat Stephon Diggs. He's their leading receiver, so you're really gonna have to rely on those 2 other guys to get open. They've done pretty well with getting their running backs the ball, receiving out of the backfield. So getting Travion Henderson involved there, Ramon Stevenson getting some quick dink and dunk passes maybe to get him comfortable to go. Those are going to be really big in those X factors. On the other side of the ball, I think Rashad Shaheed is a big X factor for Seattle because just like they're going to want to, contain Diggs, they're really going to want to contain Smith and Jigba because he can blow up at any point and he's going to get his, right? He's
Right.
always going to perform. He's going to come out. He's going to have his 7 catches, 100 yards, whatever. So, Shaheed has always shown that he can have those big play opportunities. And it's not only when he's on the offensive side of the ball, it's punt returning, it's kick returning. Can he have one of those moments in the Super Bowl to where, it just swings momentum, whether, it's coming out of the half or it's just a punt, one of those things. He's a big X factor in this for me. So I'm going to take Seattle 31-17 in this one. I just think that they do have too much firepower here. It's going to be probably closer to a late score, I think, that really just puts it away from them. It's going to be a close game throughout it. I do respect the Patriots defense a lot. I just don't think that New England – Drake May has had a good year. You see who he's played at the times he's played. You can get all that. I mean, they're all professionals. Nobody wants to get embarrassed. It doesn't matter if you have a head coach or not, at different points. Those guys that are behind them are professionals and have a lot of knowledge as well too. So I kind of kick some of that out of the window, but Drake May hasn't proved it enough to me to feel comfortable, taking him in a position like this. So if I was going to put some money down, I give you 31-17 Seattle, and I'd probably take Smith and Jigba as my Super Bowl MVP. I mean, I see him 8 to 10 catches, 100+ yards and 2 touchdowns is kind of what, in my head, what I think happens there. So
That's not a bad guess.
yeah, and if you look at FanDuel, your Super Bowl MVP here, your odds, you've got Sam Darnold leads the way at +115, followed by Drake May at +250, then Smith and Jigba at +550, and you've got Kenneth Walker the third going at fourth at 850. So, yep.
Yeah, I think, you were talking about the different things, and when you really start to take their whole seasons into perspective, those games where Sam Darnold played poorly, you look at those teams, the ones that stand out to me was the Texans, and Seattle won that game.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But they also had 6 turnovers, and it was a Texans defense that is very physical and very creative. You look at the game against the Vikings, another team where he struggled.
Yep.
And Brian Flores is another one that gets very creative in his blitz packages, makes it picking up pre-snap stuff very, very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at what the Patriots have done lately to these experienced quarterbacks. Really, it's just Justin Herbert. But when you talk about the cream of the crop, Justin Herbert, I think by most people's accord is the cream of the crop as far as being able to identify stuff pre-snap. And he was having hell. So to me, if they're able to get Sam Darnold confused, mixed up, they're going to have to be very creative. They're going to have to disguise very well. I mean, Sam Darnold's seen it all. He's been in the league for a long time, and he's proven that he can cook you. So it's a very, very live cat and mouse game that's going on. And I got a feeling that the Patriots are going to be the cat in this one. Sam's going to be the mouse. And you start talking about Jackson Smith, and really, you can't stop him. You can slow him down. But if you're going to have a hope of stopping him, the best way to stop him is Sam Darnold. So I think just getting his timing off, throwing him off, getting him uncomfortable is going to be an absolute key. And I trust the Patriots defense to do that. Seattle still brings a lot to the table. You talked about Rashid Shaheed, and he can absolutely stretch the field and make it difficult to do what you like to do on the back half because he can take the lid off at any given point in time. So absolute keys to the game for sure. I agree with your takes. I think Hunter Henry is going to be very important in this one. I get nervous a little bit because sometimes the Patriots offense seems a little predictable.
Mm-hmm.
If the run game's not there and the rush is getting to them, then they try doing a lot of dink and dunk, and they will take everything underneath. They'll try to get you with a screen game, and I don't know. If Seattle gets off to a hot start, that's also concerning because the Patriots aren't a team that can necessarily play from behind. So I am concerned. In my mind, Seattle should win the game. I just don't think they're going to. But they should win the game, absolutely.
I'd bring up those 2 instances and a couple of those instances that you mentioned with the Texans and the Vikings. Both of those teams do have phenomenal defenses, but the one thing that they both have in common is their offense leaves a lot to be desired, right?
Right.
The Vikings didn't have a quarterback all year, and besides a few decent weeks from Davis Mills, the Texans really didn't either.
Right.
So Seattle's proven that, even if Sam Darnold does go out and throw 6 interceptions, their defense is good enough to keep him in the game to where you make 6 mistakes, just go out there and make a play on the 7th one kind of deal, right? That's just what, it keeps me in that. So, but still good. Yeah.
My Super Bowl MVP is going to be Drake May.
Okay.
I think if the Patriots are going to win this game, it's going to be on him.
I agree. Yeah. I agree.
And I got this one going 28-17 in the Patriots' favor.
Wow. Okay. So you got Patriots 28-17. I put the Seattle 31-17. We our losing teams for each have 17, and then we're pretty close on the winning score. So cool. Well, that's fun. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say out there of who you think's going to win. We'll put a poll out. See what it is. We don't always get as much interaction on the NFL polls as we do the college football polls. College football polls are very interactive. I mean, we have a very active college football following for sure. We appreciate. We do appreciate. So there's some fun props out here, bets here. Make sure that you always gamble responsibly. I will say this before, but there's some fun things that I would like to do as well. Obviously, there's the coin flip. I know Pat McAfee always puts like $500,000 on tails or
The
heads or
coin
whatever
flip.
it is.
Yeah.
So you can bet on the coin flip if you want. You can bet an over under on how long the national anthem will be. I think they
Who's
typically
singing
do
it this year? You know?
like some gay person. I'm not even joking, dude. I promise you, I'm not joking. I can tell you. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just kidding. I promise. Maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna get some hate on this one, but oh well. They're shoving it down our throat, so might as well put it back
Whoa.
a bit. Pause. Super Bowl national anthem. It took me a second to look this one up. Charlie Puth?
Oh. Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't know. I have no idea who that is.
Pop singer.
Okay. And then Brandy Carly is singing America Beautiful. And then Coco Jones is singing Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Hell yeah, Coco. Good for her.
I don't know who Coco is.
I don't know that it's a her either, but I don't know who Coco Jones is.
See what I mean? Who is Charlie Puth? I have no idea who this guy is.
Hey, Charlie Puth is that old boy. He was a pop sensation for like a year and a half. Trying to think of his famous song.
How did
Hold on.
he get here? I mean,
He's a big deal to teenage girls, I think.
oh, he later co-wrote, produced, and guest performed on Wiz Khalifa's "See You Again." He sings
Yeah.
"See
He
You
sings
Again."
the chorus, and then "We Don't Talk Anymore." That's the.
I have no idea what that song is.
Yeah, you've heard it. It's on the radio all the time. We don't talk anymore.
Oh,
We
okay.
don't talk anymore. Yeah.
If I had to imagine, just from thinking about, I think he's going to do something stupid, so I'd take the over and whatever it is. We got off on a tangent there on that. But those are fun things that you can bet on. That for the pregame stuff. During the game, this is all from FanDuel, just so you know. Do you have these are great odds. I mean, I just pulled them and they're great odds. A quarterback throwing for 506 plus passing yards. You got plus 1,500 odds there.
Dang, that's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Neither one of them is going to do it, but that's pretty good.
I know. Throw some money down and maybe win a lot of money. There you go. 205 plus rushing yards, plus 3,500. I don't foresee them having either of them having a running back because they do a running back by committee. So I would advise against that one. 216 plus receiving yards. That's plus 10,000. Hey, anybody gives you 10,001 odds, take.
If John Mellencamp ever wins a Grammy, I'm going to be a rich man.
I'm just going to say, if you're going to do this one, you might as well just put Jackson Smith and Jigba in there. Just like, if you're going to do one of these and you want one with really high upside, that's the one I'd pick. A quarterback to throw plus 7 touchdown passes, plus 20,000 odds.
Okay, yeah. I know we're just living in.
No, they're just fun. Here's some more realistic ones. Any non-throwing quarterback touchdown pass, plus 1,200. I would really be on the lookout for that in the Super Bowls, where you typically see some wild plays happen. You think about the Philly special. You think about the Antoine Randall, or not? Was it Antoine Randall? Yeah, with Heinz Warren that threw it to him a long time ago, and Steelers. There's always these trick plays, so that's one. I do know that there was like a cryptic message put out there already. Maybe it's just to throw off the signal of Cooper Kupp potentially throwing a pass in the Super Bowl. So that's a good one there. It's plus 1,200 odds. You can put some money on that one and win that one there. And then anytime touchdown scores, you've got Stephon Diggs plus 260, Cooper Kupp plus 260, Ramon Stevenson plus 145. Drake May plus 280. Keep that May one right there because he has run for a couple scores, and if they get close within that 10-yard line, he is a threat to. He's not scared to put his head down and go get a touchdown. So that's a good one. Travion Henderson plus 500. That's also one he doesn't score a lot
touchdown?
anytime touchdown. He doesn't score a lot of rushing touchdowns, but if another deal there, they run by committee. You don't know who they're going to hand the ball off to. Ramon Stevenson's known for fumbling. If he fumbles once or twice, they may pull him, and it may be Henderson's game. So there's some things there, plus 500 odds. I'm just saying. And then Rashad Shaheed is plus 360. He's going to have multiple opportunities in the receiving game, punts, kickoffs. Obviously, two of those are really hard to come by, but he's done a very good job of scoring when needed. So those are fun ones. I mean, I think there's a lot of really good opportunities there. Any non-throwing quarterback touchdown pass, that's anybody. You don't have to specifically pick one person. You can just go throw $100 on that plus 1,200 odds and win you some decent dinero there if you wanted to. If you just had $100 that you were like, hey, do it. That's probably one of them that I would really look at. So, anyways.
Yeah, to me, that's no different than buying a scratch off. I mean,
oh, hell no. No.
It's 50-50.
It's actually better odds, probably, really. In all honesty.
I'm going to go with Jason Myers over 6 field goals made.
No, I'd go under. Don't take Emilio's advice there. I'm sorry. I mean, you can. and if you win, share some of it.
He's the leading scorer for them this year.
Yeah. If you win off these props, you got to sponsor the show, whoever it is. You can help us out. So I can pay my lady to do the merch. I'm just kidding. Got that.
I'm gonna put some money on there being some sort of political stance made of the halftime show.
Oh wow. No shit, Sherlock. Old boy's gonna walk out with a dress and a freaking bulge going on, talking about he needs ice in his cup or something. I don't know.
It's too easy to bait you into this.
It is. I mean, it's just silly. I don't comment on any of it because I mean people are gonna think what they want to think. It's just when I get put in a situation like what you just teed up, I'm gonna say something. So whatever. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep it quiet. So because I guess I just don't like hurting feelings. I guess I don't know. But I'm just kidding. Fuck your feelings. No, anyways, guys, we greatly appreciate it.
Whoa, hold on. It.
What do you got? You got something else?
I mean, the Pro Bowl's going on right now.
Oh my god,
be important.
I watched. I turned it on a second ago earlier to annoy my girls just because we turned it off whatever it was and they were like, "Oh, you gonna watch football, Dad?" That's what they always tell me. And I was like, "Yeah, I am." The Pro Bowl was on there. Turn it on, and Shedeur Sanders is throwing an interception in a flag football.
Some things don't change.
I know.
The NFC won 66-52.
Oh wow, what a thrilling game! I don't know who'd waste their time watching that, but
there's somebody.
God bless you. Well, that's it, man. That was it was a Super Bowl preview / prediction. We had fun. We talked about Texas, high school realignment. If I offended anybody, I don't know. We can still be friends. You can offend me next time. I promise. It's okay. Say what you will. I'm just a half breed. I don't know what else you want from me. So I can get away with some things. Right?
That half is a stretch. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. A quarter, whatever. Use it where you can. So, anyway. All right, guys, we greatly appreciate it. We will be back. Another episode out probably Tuesday. Reacting to the Super Bowl, reacting to other things that happened around the sporting world. We'll have some Winter Olympics stuff that we'll dive into just because I like putting random shit out there, and we're a sports podcast, so we're going to talk about sports, and we'll talk about whatever else happens, NBA deadline draft, all that kind of good stuff, and yeah, then we're going to be fully into the football offseason where we're going to start breaking down NFL, the draft, the free agency. We'll talk about, we'll give some deeper dives on the college football transfer portal just so you guys can know what's going on. We'll do all that. We're going to have plenty of time to get it all going. So, got anything
Yep.
else before we sign off here?
I'm all good.
Sweet. Guys, thank you so much. If you listen to this whole thing, we greatly appreciate you. Check us out on all our social media stuff. Check out Brewster Bird Hunts. We thank them. We can't thank them enough. Remember that Jesus loves you and that he is your Lord and Savior. You're never alone. He's always with you. So, yeah, we'll end it with that. You guys have a great week, a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. Peace, everybody.